What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, and thank you for joining me. Cryptocurrency goes mainstream. We all knew that this would happen. It was coming. The writing on the wall says it all. And if you are in the market right now, or even thinking about getting into the market, then congratulations. You are early. We're going to read this. It is from the rpc.senate.gov, and it's got a lot of good little tidbits of information. A little bit of what is crypto, what is the good of crypto, what is the bad of crypto, and what was crypto's humble beginnings to its multi-trillion-dollar fruition. So let's read this. This is from April 7th of this year. Cryptocurrency goes mainstream. Cryptocurrency has the potential to reduce transaction costs and speeds and to increase privacy, though it could also be used for nefarious purposes such as ransomware attacks. Of course it could. So can fiat currency. So can the dollar. Every time anybody says anything to me like cryptocurrency is used for illegal purposes, my response is, over the course of history, I believe more crime, more bad things have been perpetrated with the US dollar than with cryptocurrency. How many times have we heard of multi-million-dollar scams that scammed people over the last 20, 30, 40 years, however old you are? A lot. You add all those times up, and in my opinion only, I believe that if somebody had done a study, they would find that the majority of crime is committed with US dollars in mind, not cryptocurrency. And anything can be used for nefarious purposes. Excuse me. It doesn't matter what it is. Like the Bible said, the dollar is as the dollar does. Render unto Caesar's what is Caesar's. The dollar is the dollar. It will obey whatever anybody wants it to. Same thing with cryptocurrency. It will obey anything people want it to do. It is only a tool. If you're a good person, it'll do good things. If you're a bad person, it will do bad things. It drives me nuts when people do things like that. Cryptocurrency is only used for illegal purposes. Well, sure, by illegal users, people who are criminals, people are going to use it. But the same exact thing can be said about the dollar. In March, President Biden issued an executive order directing federal agencies to report regulatory and policy recommendations associated with developing digital assets. Yeah, it was a great big leap forward. It was a huge step. We haven't heard too much about it since then, but it's in the works, hopefully. Republican lawmakers have called for preserving private sector innovation in the cryptocurrency industry, as well as regulatory clarity for customers, entrepreneurs, and investors. And that is one thing we need. We need regulatory clarity. We need things to say this is the bar, and you must at least reach the bar. And once regulatory clarity comes through, there are going to be a lot of projects that fall by the wayside. The investments, the cash that's in there is going to trickle down, well, at least some of it anyways, is going to trickle down into better projects like Algorand. Cryptocurrency has gone far from an obscure fad to a much more mainstream form of investment and finance. A handful of cryptocurrencies dominate the market, with Bitcoin accounting for a full 41% of the entire industry's market value. With that growth, governments around the world have become interested in regulating the industry. Several governments also have taken steps towards establishing their own digital currencies. As I've said many times, the bigger the market grows, the more pressure there is for governments to get involved. No government in the world is going to see a multi-trillion-dollar market without licking their chops and rubbing their hands together and saying, what can we do here? It's not going to happen. Regulation is coming. So we may as well get it here, see what it is, tear it apart, see how it's going to affect us, and move on, and adapt. Cryptocurrency grows up. The market capitalization for all cryptocurrencies increased from about $19 billion in January of 2017 to $2.2 trillion in January of 2022. When in doubt, zoom out. When the market's crashing and you're shaken and you're thinking the world is ending, the sky is falling down, zoom out. Look at the growth of the market. Look at yourself and say, did I make a right decision when I invested in this project? Well, let's see. When you invested in this project, I'm presuming that you had done your research. I'm presuming that it fit all the criteria for you to invest in, because otherwise, why would you have invested in it? And if you invested in it, then obviously you think your project is good. If you think your project is good, then who cares when it dips? When it dips, you should do nothing. You believe in your project. You believe in yourself. It's a good project. You've done your research. You are not spending more than what you can comfortably lose anyways. So you look at these dips and say, okay, whatever. Cryptocurrency has created billionaires almost overnight. And I hope every single one of us gets to experience that. As luck or prescient, I don't know why I'm not being able to read that word. Early bets, depending on whom you ask, have increased the value of their holdings by astonishing amounts. Yeah, thousands of percents. According to a recent poll, 1 in 5 American adults has made an investment, traded, or used cryptocurrency. The figure is even higher, 40% among Black Americans. Nice. More people getting into the market. Growth. The higher the market grows, the faster it grows, the faster it grows, the higher it grows, the higher it grows, the faster it grows. The market as a whole is kind of like FOMO, fear of missing out. The normal person does not like to buy stocks or cryptocurrencies when the price is low. I don't know why. I really don't know why. The average retail investor, that's the average person, you and I, not big businesses, likes to buy cryptocurrencies and stocks when they're on their way up. I don't know why they do, but they do. The federal government has become increasingly interested in cryptocurrency as its use has expanded. In March, President Biden issued an executive order that set policy objectives for digital asset development and directed agencies to report back with policy recommendations. These objectives included protecting consumers, investors, and businesses, and ensuring privacy, maintaining financial stability, and guarding against illicit uses such as money laundering and ransomware. The order also called for the U.S. to continue leading the development of digital assets and for promoting access to affordable financial services. And cryptocurrency will make things a lot more affordable. It will make things a little bit easier, a little bit better, a little bit faster. You're cutting out the middleman. Cryptocurrency has a bright future. It's not just this magic cash that doesn't really exist and has no intrinsic value. What do you mean it has no intrinsic value? You're not looking deep enough into it. Cryptocurrency is like information, depending on which coin you are. It's either like information, or it's either a digital asset, or it's a digital representation of a physical thing, a license, something like that. In today's day and age, and we all know it, and nobody can go against it, information is valuable. Information people pay lots of money for. When you get these free things online and it's a website and it's free, why do you think it's free? It's because they are selling your information. You are the product, or at least the information about you. So now how are people going to tell me, what is this magic money? It's only information. Yes, information is more valuable than fiat hard cash nowadays. But beyond that, cryptocurrencies do a lot of other things as well. They do smart contract to contract calling, meaning you're cutting out the middleman. You want to send remittance payments across seas. Okay, you pay that. You go through Nostro Vosto. Or you can do cryptocurrency, in which case your transfers are almost immediate. You're cutting out the middleman. You don't have to get all the banks together to compile the cash that you want to send. It's there. And then the person that you send it to can get it and trade it into whatever fiat currency they so darn well choose. Sounds good. Potential benefits of cryptocurrency. Financial institutions that conduct transactions of traditional payments must maintain large electronic networks, employ people, and charge fees to anyone who uses their system to transmit money because, well, they don't work for free. It's not a charity. Some observers have touted cryptocurrency's ability to dramatically reduce costs and the time it takes to make payments. Ukraine's government has collected donations of more than $100 million in cryptocurrency to support its defense against Russia's unprovoked war, which would have been more difficult through traditional means. They would have been waiting for the money still, and they wouldn't have gotten it. And there would have been so much red tape to go through to get it that, well, Russia would have rolled over them because Ukraine wouldn't have been able to get the supplies that they needed. Cryptocurrency prices can be volatile, though, a factor that some say has kept them from being more widely used to make payments. Yes, volatility in the beginning is high. You have two people who put in $1, one of them pulls out $1, that is a 50% drop. You have 4 people put in $1, one of them pulls out $1, that is a 25% drop. You have 1 million people put in $1, one person pulls out $1 and nobody cares. That's volatility. The bigger the market gets, the lower the volatility will go. People talk about volatility now, and in my head, I think many years ago, volatility, this is nothing. This is nothing. This is almost stable compared to just a few years ago. Just a few years ago, everybody was saying the market was going to die. And then it's the future. And then the next day it's going to die. And then the next day it's the future. And nobody could make up their mind. If the market was going down, then people were saying, well, they're putting in FUD, saying that the market was going to crash. And then as the price goes up, all of a sudden, the very same people who said that the market was going to crash and go to zero were the same people who said, get in now or you're going to miss the train. Supporters also say that cryptocurrency could provide increased security and privacy in financial transactions. People are not personally identified on the ledgers where these digital transactions are recorded, and they have a private key that they use when sending or receiving cryptocurrency. Yes, you are anonymous. However, your wallet is not, which is why you cannot money launder in cryptocurrency, because people get on the blockchain, find out the wallet, and all it takes is a few very smart people to find out and link a name to the wallet, and yeah, there you go. You're not going to, it's the same thing as your bank account. Did you know that? Your finances, as far as you think, they are not as private as you think. There's a lot of things that are public knowledge. Blockchain technology enables a permanent record of the order of the transactions, and eventually these transactions are irreversible. Some people may prefer the relative anonymity of cryptocurrency compared to sharing personal information with a traditional financial institution. Know your customer, though. Know your customer is still, in cryptocurrency. It's not completely anonymous, and it won't be, not with regulation. It's going to be a little more akin to the bank, but cheaper and faster. That's just the way regulation is going to work. The government isn't going to allow things to run completely anonymous. It's just not going to happen. Some observers compare cryptocurrency's current state to the early days of the internet, and rightly so, in my opinion, emphasizing that we have not seen the full scope of how it can be applied. They say it is crucial to allow the industry to innovate, and it is. Allow the industry to innovate. Allow the market to choose. Don't choose for the market. Senator Pat Toomey, ranking member of the Banking Committee, recently solicited proposals for legislation that would clarify the rules and laws around cryptocurrency to protect investors and to foster innovation in the industry. He also released a discussion draft of legislation that would establish a new regulatory framework for stablecoins, digital assets that are, for stablecoins. Excuse me. Boy, I am having difficulties. Thank you for bearing with me through this. A new regulatory framework for stablecoins, digital assets that are designed to have a one-to-one value relative to a reference asset such as the US dollar. The dark side of cryptocurrency. Remember, every solution has its own set of problems. There's no such thing as a perfect solution. Anytime there's a solution, think down the road, what are the problems that this particular solution are going to bring up? And everything has it. So, the dark side of crypto. The pseudonymous and decentralized nature of cryptocurrency also makes it attractive to criminals. And there's that age-old, tired argument. Criminals are going to be criminals, and a criminal will be a criminal whether you want them to be a criminal or not. And a criminal, being a criminal, will find a way to use anything in a criminal matter. That's just the nature of who they are. There is nothing in the world that can't be manipulated for bad or nefarious purposes. That's just the way it is. The infamous online marketplace known as the Silk Road used, oh my God, how far, are you really going to go that far back? You're kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel there. The Silk Road to facilitate sales and shipment of illegal drugs and weapons and all kinds of other things. More than 100,000 illegal drug transactions had taken place on the site by the time it was shut down by the FBI in 2013. And you had to go that far back. You had to go that far back to make your point. Okay. There are scams that are going on right now. There are more modern things, but they had to use the sensational one. The site facilitated other criminal activity, including hacking services and sales of fake driver's license, passports, and social security cards. Okay, so if we compared the number of illegal things that were bought on the Silk Road versus the number of illegal things that were bought with the American dollar, I still think the US dollar has had more illegal activity performed with it. Cryptocurrency has been integral to the astonishing rise in ransomware attacks around the globe. Well, no, that would be the internet. The internet was the rise of ransomware attacks. Cryptocurrency is just simply a tool. And again, criminals being criminals, there's nothing that they won't do to do criminal activities. They can do criminal activities with anything. There's nothing you're going to do that's going to make a criminal turn around and say, well, maybe I'm not going to be a criminal. If they're going to use it for bad, then they're going to use it for bad. The FBI has had some success in tracking and even retrieving ransomware payments made via Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. They've had huge success tracking, finding, and returning them. Last June, the Department of Justice announced it had tracked down and recovered 63.7 Bitcoins paid as ransom by Colonial Pipeline in response to the ransomware attack. I am just suffering this morning in reading. My mouth is not connecting with my brain properly, so I got to thank you for your patience with me. Whew. 63.7 Bitcoins paid as ransom by Colonial Pipeline in response to the ransomware attack it had suffered. The Bitcoins were valued at just over $2.3 million at the time. Contrary to popular belief, cryptocurrency transactions are not totally anonymous. As I've said, you are anonymous, but the ledger, the chain, holds a record. The ledgers in which most are recorded are public, and people can peruse them. And let me tell you something. You get the court of public opinion as the highest court in the land. Well, the greatest police force in the land is the police force of the public. You want to find somebody, and the cops can't do it, release their pictures. Somebody somewhere, some internet sleuth, some internet hacker, some internet guru is going to find them. In July, the Senate Judiciary Committee held a hearing on preventing and responding to cyber attacks. Yeah, like they always do. And they'll always talk about it, and yet we always hear more and more and more and more. Because, well, safety is always behind those who take your safety. Security and the police and people that make things good happen out of bad are always one step behind the bad, because you can't foresee everything that a criminal is going to do until they've done it. And once they've done it, then you can form a plan. Cryptocurrency mass adoption. It is happening. We're hearing about it left and right. We're hearing about it everywhere. And I mean, from its humble beginnings of just a few $billion, $2 billion, all the way up to $3 trillion at its highest. Now it's at about 2.8, I believe. It's a burgeoning market. It's a bright future. And it's a future that will make transactions cheaper, faster, better. It will bank the unbanked, and it will change the world for good. I thank you for your time, for sticking with me, especially since I fumbled this one so many times. You guys are amazing. You've got the patience that it takes. You're gonna make it. I appreciate you, and I will see you guys in the next one.